The big mistake they make is measuring vanity metrics, like how many likes did I get, how many shares did I get, not really seeing what the ROI revenue is, figure out whether this is really generating leads.
The businesses that win in 2026 aren't the ones doing the most, but the ones doing the right things with the right AI-driven systems.
Figure out those repeatable processes in your business, and then I feel like AI is just the mechanical process in your business, whereas you can bring in your strategy, your creativity into it.
Hi, this is Kripa Anand, and welcome to the She and Success podcast, powered by She and Success Business Magazine, a platform dedicated to spotlighting the voices, strategies, and journeys of women leaders and entrepreneurs who are shaping Canada's business and policy landscape. Today, we are discussing how to move from random acts of marketing to building a structured revenue engine that actually scales. In 2026, the businesses that win aren't the ones doing the most, but the ones doing the right things with the right AI driven systems. Joining us today is Nida Ateeq, founder and CMO of Anagar Media. With over a decade of experience in demand generation and revenue operations, Nida has helped global brands and over 20 SMEs build high performing marketing engines that consistently drive results. She's also passionate. She is also a passionate advocate for immigrant entrepreneurs and women in tech. So, before further ado, let's welcome this special guest. Nida, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing today?
Good so far. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. Now, Nida, you've built a career across global markets, right? But starting from scratch in a new country presents its own unique set of challenges. So, let's start by understanding how can entrepreneurs build trust when launching a business specifically in a new country like that?
Yeah, I think trust cannot be built in a new country, and you can't have build credibility immediately.
Mhm.
I think you need to follow a certain pattern to get there. So, one, I say show up consistently in communities, at events, at discussion forums. Make yourself available. People will trust you if they see you showing up. Multiple times. And then the other factor is generosity. So you're new to the country, offer up what you have as expertise.
Mhm.
So for me, what worked really well was to go and show some kind of strategic advice, or coming up and someone's looking for something and just going and showing up without being too salesy and out there.
Yeah.
I think that's very important. So like these two factors then build up your credibility and people
Yeah.
can start trusting you. You have to just show up, I think.
Definitely, Nida. I think showing up consistently in the right communities is the ultimate shortcut to building the trust that your brand needs to survive. And of course, as a business, when you get into the thought leadership space, you attract a genuine trust from the audience
Mhm.
as well. So that's great. Now, let's explore how supplier diversity strengthens business strategy and economic impact. Nida, what marketing mistakes stop founders from building a structured revenue system? I'm sure you've come across a lot of founders from your extensive experience. So, what's your take on that?
I think trying out a new thing every other month or every other week, right? Not being again here again, I would like to say consistent. So this week we're running LinkedIn ads, but next week we want to do more of social. The week after that, let's start email campaigns. And then you're like spread out too thin and you feel like the next big thing is what is something we need to try out. I think that's something you need to wholly avoid.
Mhm.
That's a big mistake. I think how you need to approach it is, what is your target audience? Where are they sitting currently? What are those forums you can start reaching out to them? And then building your like almost like a buyer's journey from awareness to like what that final sales or customer journey looks like, and seeing how you would do those outreaches. So maybe awareness stage, you want to send out a newsletter, but at the final stage, you want to share something more, like maybe a 30-minute free strategy session or something that you have to offer. Building that out is very important, and understanding where your audience is sitting, right? Where are those buyers? I think a lot of founders fail in that, and that's when you start building a whole marketing system around who's my audience, what is the content strategy, the messaging strategy, how am I going to position myself, and what that end to end looks like. uh, the other big mistake they make is, I think, measuring vanity metrics, like how many likes did I get, how many shares did I get, not really seeing what the ROI revenue is.
Mhm.
So it's great to, build a brand, and I'm not saying don't do social media, don't do all of the other things, but also see the ROI, right?
Right.
Not only wholly depend on impressions or likes and shares and all of those things. Figure out whether this is really generating leads for you, or some other impact, whether it's developing some kind of partnership, is it bringing in referrals? Ask those questions and start measuring those.
I think you articulated that pretty well. Going niche instead of just being
Yeah.
everywhere makes a lot of sense. And moving from tactics to a structured revenue engine is the only way to stop the burnout cycle. So
Hmm.
thank you for answering that. Next, let's discuss how strategic partnerships like Trimark are helping scale Canadian-made apparel. Um, Nida, how can AI automation scale a business while keeping the human touch? AI is no longer a buzzword right now, but
Hmm.
still, it's literally everywhere. So, how do you get used to it, and how do you incorporate it into your own system?
I think AI is like a mechanical system which will eliminate any repeatable process in your business,
Mhm.
right? It's not going to eliminate the human factor there. So figure out where you can use AI. I feel like more often than not, AI can be used in data processing, uh, research.
Yeah.
You can use your AI in lead outreaches, reporting. So these are like repeatable tasks for any founder, which takes up a lot of time. And if you use AI to do that, like one of the great things I've seen with now a lot of CRMs, what they do for founders is a AI summary. There are like 80 reports that you need to see, but who has the time to do that? So just use AI to figure out, give you the three bullets of how you're performing, where are you lacking and where are you performing, and where you should be investing more time,
Yeah.
and your dollars on versus where you shouldn't be. And I think AI does a great job at that versus you sitting and going through every single report. So figure out those repeatable processes in your business, and then change. I feel like AI is just the mechanical process in your business, whereas you can, once you start using it, you can bring in your strategy, your creativity into
Yeah.
it. And that's what's important.
Great. So, that's a great point because as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, you often try to juggle between so many hats,
Hmm.
right? And trying to do everything yourself. And it's really the best to use AI for the repetition work and free up your brain for the actual business
Yeah.
development. That's great to know. To the founders watching, in 2026, stop letting your inbox run your day. AI is not about replacing your creativity. It's about automating the administrative tasks so that you can get back to the things that actually matter. You don't need a massive team to scale the one. You just need the right automation engine running in the background. Use the tools available to buy back your time, or you will forever be the bottleneck in your own business. It's time for a quick break right here, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly.
At Purolator, we understand the importance of every delivery, whether it's a document, a special gift, a critical healthcare shipment, or an entire warehouse worth of inventory. Throughout our more than 60-year history, we've honed our expertise to build out a powerful portfolio of logistics services that enable us to deliver on every promise. Whether shipping across town or around the globe, from small and medium-sized businesses to industrial, technology, retail, and healthcare sectors, Purolator serves a diverse array of customers. So no matter what, where, or when you're shipping, Purolator's expertise, experience, and innovative solutions enable us to deliver on your promises.
All right, guys, thank you so much for staying tuned. We are back with Nida, and let's continue the conversation with her. Now, moving ahead, Nida, let's look at how the Women of the Week campaign highlights the support that women leadership need.
Mhm.
How can founders build a predictable client pipeline instead of, just random, inconsistent leads?
Uh, I think here's something you need to think about, right? Do you, like to our previous point, do we have to be out there everywhere? That's very important. You're going to be also spending a lot of money and resources on it. So people always associate it to the cost or the amount that you're spending,
Mhm.
but also think about how much time you're putting into it. So to build consistent lead structure, I think you need to find out where your sources are, right? A lot of founders, instead of figuring out and seeing the actual metrics on where are these coming from, they start investing on all the channels which are working for anyone else in the same industry, same uh, geography, you can say.
Yeah.
And so I think it's very important for you to hone in and see where did I get my maximum revenue from, and then figure out sources and ways to go back to that and build your whole revenue system around it.
Wow. A predictable, automated revenue pipeline is the bedrock of any sustainable business model. Finally, let's explore the leadership lessons shaped by your 2 decades of business experience, Nida. From your extensive experience, why are mentorship and community essential for women in tech and marketing? And please also go ahead and share about the Women of the Week campaign.
Yes, I think mentorship and community is so important because representation is very important, right? And then, as you can see, we're still evolving there at various leadership roles. We still want to see diversity, which is lacking. And so I think mentorship gives you that ability to understand and learn from the stories and the different experiences your mentor is going to bring to the table. I think that's very important. And the other important thing is it gives you confidence when you're seeing other women building, growing, and doing, or also even failing and then picking up and, getting to a certain place from there and sharing those learnings with the audience. I think it's so important that you need that. And community, I think, is so, so very important from the perspective of building partnerships. I have got a lot of business from just communities, from referrals, and having advocating that for so long now, I think that's the main go-to we often look away from. I think contributing to those communities and just being there, not being too salesy, is very important. So I think these two form like the core competencies if you're trying to build something. The Women of the Week campaign, what we're trying to do is basically we're getting a set of women founders. Anyone who's interested, please reach out. I will give my email to you. And what we're trying to do is build a very niche, small group of women coming together, sharing the challenges they're facing. And then we're trying to solve it within that room. So each day there would be, we're trying to keep it really small. I'm hoping to do it to a larger audience sometime in future, but this would be 10 to 15 women each day. It would, every lady would come up and talk about the challenges she's facing, discuss about her business, talk about the challenges, and a set of group of people there are going to sit together and look for some kind of solutions and help her build through that. So that's what we're trying to do for Women of the Week campaign. We're hoping to do 2 or 3 women the whole day, and we're structuring around real conversations, also learning off of each other's experience. So that's mainly our goal.
Wow, that sounds like a fantastic initiative. And I just like to mention that we at She and Success are incredibly proud of, you leading this and
Thank
getting
you.
so many women involved in this. I'm loving this conversation, Nida, and it's so great to have you back. But before we let you go, if there's one piece of final advice that you have for, women who are listening to you for inspiration, what would you tell them and why?
I think, especially for women founders or someone who wants to do the next big thing, just start, right? Don't wait to be ready, because I think you're already ready. If you are at a stage or a point that you're thinking that you should start something, whether it's a business, an initiative, any program, I think just start, because it's important to understand that you are never going to be ready. Every business plan is never ready at the first go. It's not going to be perfect. You have to figure out what is real enough right now, and what is that basic plan, and then just start from there. You're going to learn throughout the process. You're never going to be perfect. Even after like years of doing what I'm doing, I still learn every day, and I keep reiterating. I keep redoing my website, for example, every single day, because I've learned something somewhere. I redo something which I've seen somewhere else. I redo my LinkedIn profile. Personal branding is important. So I think just don't wait to be perfect to be ready. Just start.
That is indeed a golden reminder. It has been such a pleasure, Nida. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, that was Nida Ateeq from Anagar Media, a masterclass in how to combine data, AI, and community to build a scalable, revenue driven marketing engine. To all the listeners, thank you so much for tuning in to the She and Success podcast, powered by She and Success Business Magazine. Be sure to subscribe for more expert insights and visit sheandsuccess.ca for more resources. And lastly, a very special thank you to our exclusive shipping partner, Purolator, for their ongoing commitment to supporting women entrepreneurs and helping them build, grow, and lead successful businesses across Canada. See you guys in the next episode. Kripa Anand signing off.